Alright, let's try and finish this up. Part 3, and let's talk about the plants and the amount of space that you can grow in based on the amount of water that you have in your system. This is basically a 55-gallon system with a 27-gallon sump at the moment. It's only about 20 gallons, so we'll say 75 gallons. The volume of one of these barrels whole is 7.35 cubic feet, roughly. So 1/2 barrel is, just a little under 3.5 cubic feet. For every gallon of water, you can have up to 1 cubic foot of grow space to denitrify. So you look at 75 gallons, that's 75, cubic feet to denitrify with. That would be, 14 of these grow beds from this system. The more grow bed, the more cleaning power and denitrification you have done. If you had a mini sump under every one of the grow beds, you'd still be increasing the amount of water all of the time. So you're always probably going to have more water to denitrify than you can provide grow space, because it just keeps compounding on itself. But with this system and the sump system, I could probably easily run 4 grow beds with no issue. Go up to a larger pump, larger sump system. It just would keep going and going, and depending on how heavily stocked your tank is, you can provide plenty of nutrient for just tons and tons of grow space. Plants, try and get exotic stuff. These pepper plants that I'm going to be putting in here are bird's eye peppers. They're called chiltepin, and it's one of the main peppers that I use in my salsas. And it's at certain times of year, it's hard to find. It's kind of expensive. The cheapest I have found this pepper online is $96 a pound. That's expensive. So I want to make sure that I have my own supply. Luckily, I found somebody on Craigslist selling these out in Guadalupe, and I was really excited about that. I am trying out a Japanese eggplant, and you can already see it's got a bud coming in there. The Thai basil, it might be exotic, but these are plants that pop up, in the urban vegetable sections at Home Depot and Walmart and Lowe's. So they're nothing really exotic. Most people, like I said earlier, are only growing standard stuff: basil, tomatoes, peppers. Try and, do anything. I don't think there's anything that cannot grow in these systems. I'm even going to try a dragon fruit out of this when I get a chance. Sometimes we're just cheating and we buy, little sprouts that are already coming up from the stores, because I haven't gotten my seeding system down yet. I know what materials I want to use. I know how I want to approach it, but the problem is finding these materials the way that you want them. The options are to go to a nursery that might have one item that you need and pay a premium because it's at a nursery. And I suppose this brings me to somewhat of a complaint, is that so far the chain stores are not catering to aquaponics. You can find some hydroponic parts at your typical stores, but the mix-match nature of the stores has you constantly kind of MacGyvering things together. If you go to the hydroponic stores and buy, you know, the different valves and grow beds and things that they have, it's so expensive, it's ridiculous. The hydroponic stores aren't big enough, they don't do enough business for their inventory to be larger and bring the price down, and the large stores aren't picking their feet up and getting a move on embracing aquaponics and having sections that are devoted to, you know, hydro or aquaponic. It makes things sometimes take a long time. One of the most expensive parts that you can buy for this is just the drain bulkhead. You know, they run $15 a piece just to pop a hole in and try and keep water from, you know, rolling out. So I don't know if there should be some kind of movement to get these guys to start putting more products that are geared for aquaponics into their inventories, but as people love to say these days, it is what it is. We picked up some strawberries the other day, you know, to put into here, and you can just tell how this is standing up. This particular one, the roots aren't even coming down, I just have them hitting the bottom of the basket, and it just, this thing just instantly stood up as soon as I put them in. I'm waiting. This is the one that I'm really waiting to see, though. In the bundle of strawberries, there was one single little rooted guy, and I want to see. This will be a real test right here to see how quickly this one develops into a plant that looks more like this one. And you can see from earlier videos how much now that the initial growth died off, how much this has taken hold and is coming through in this NFT system, and I have high hopes for it. It's looking really good. Everything right now is looking awesome. Just try to be creative, I suppose, is the best advice for the plants that you grow, and always keep busy moving your plants around, repositioning them. I have this one leaning off to the side a little bit, but that allows this back branch off of it to get more light, and then these inner branches that are coming off the stem down here. It's hard to see through all this foliage, but ever since I moved it over there, these two branches have tripled their size in this week. So, you know, try and maneuver things, you know, carefully without breaking anything to try and get yourself as much light onto the bed as possible. And everywhere that you see a spot, you know, you can plant something. There's the density that you can pack your plants in is completely different than it is for soil. Put it, as long as it's getting light, you can put them, you know, 2-3 inches apart, and certain plants like basil and peppers are really good to go together. Their root systems can coexist closer to each other than maybe some other ones. The mint root systems are supposed to go insane and can cause issues clogging things up, so I've avoided going with just straight up mint. But I suppose if you put it as far away from a drain or a fill, mint would probably just take over your entire garden. So don't limit yourself by thinking, you know, I don't know if this plant can grow. There isn't anything that we've stuck in here that hasn't grown and grown really well. So I hope with this update, there's probably plenty of stuff that I've missed because I just tend to babble on and lose track, and I get kind of excited about all of this stuff. If there's anything anybody has on their mind in particular, please ask questions. I love talking about this stuff. I love setting these things up. I love drawing up designs, and any help anybody would need, just leave a comment. And thanks everybody for their patience and for watching, and I hope you really get something out of this video series. So thank you, and we'll see you later.